Good morning to everybody online. Thank you for being with us. Christopher Poulos, I have no idea what time it is with you, but thank you. It's really heartening to see your face. David, did you want to?
3:44, Chris.
Yeah. So welcome everybody. It's really important, like yesterday, that we start in a place of being peaceful and not rushed and hurried. Often when David and I used to do workshops around the country for the Professional Golfers Association, we would come early and claim the space by just playing some music where we were going to be teaching. And it really helped us ground ourselves before we did the work. And I know lots of you are counselors and therapists, so you understand the importance of grounding yourself before you try and give. And you all yesterday gave ways and online as well. You know, thank you for what you've contributed so far. Thank you for being here and holding the space with you. And Truda came up with the idea for breathing spaces, I think, and we all agreed with her in that committee meeting that would be a really good start, a really good conference theme. And David has a beautiful song that I have loved since I ever heard it. And we thought that maybe that would be a good way to start the poetry session. And so we're going to start with a song called Breathing Too Loud.
This time in the morning, breathing is too loud. My heart is a fire, the brain is water that puts it out. There's no pain at the moment, but the check is in the post. Talk about living, die, and I've been wondering which part hurts the most. While we're sleeping, the world is turning. Without us it survives. Too much scheming and not enough feeling, and science isn't the point. Keep breathing, keep trying, keep waking every day. There's too many calls, too much noise, rarely that much to say. But something in the evening is screaming at me now. Your heart is a fire, your brain is water that puts it out. While we're sleeping, the world keeps turning. Without us it survives just fine. Too much scheming and not enough feeling, and science isn't the point. You know I would sooner feel alright, but I am breathing too loud. Breathing, am I breathing too loud? Am I breathing too loud for you? Am I breathing too loud for you? Am I breathing too loud for you? Am I breathing too loud for you?
I'd now like to introduce to you Eric Seifert from the Fulda University of Applied Sciences, who's going to present his work, his poetry on how to turn unbreathing spaces into breathing ones. Eric, thank you.
As a PhD student and researcher in public health with research interests in qualitative methods and orphanography, I am facing a hostile and normative, quantitative and evidence-based orientated research environment at my workplace. My in two parts divided poem, Turning Unbreathing Spaces into Breathing Ones, is a product and part of an ongoing process to get along with my anxiety and fear to speak and breathe in front of members of this environment. Talking to a few dear colleagues about my feelings and the encouragement of them to write about my feelings led to this poem, and was the beginning to search for a way to handle such situations and to regain my voice and breathing. Turning unbreathing spaces into breathing ones. The seagulls in the pulpits gaze at the heretic skull and screech their devotions. Shadows of thought, drawn like silver shining, empty phrases from their quivers, are hammered into my skull's wall. The storm nets the breath, severs the thread of thought in the lung cage until it is called health. Words knotted into a fisherman's net, thrown to the drowning like a ring with red and white stripes. Your process is in a poor condition. The question raised as a shield against Neptune's might. The healing form takes root in the earth of beech trunks. In the universe of ravens, from the ash heap rises the thread of thought, weaving into a tapestry of ideas. The raven's wingbeard dispels the shadowy mists, and with luminous winds the eye draws inside. Nourished by heartbeats, the root needle knits, the breath weave to new breath. The thread of thought spun into a forest of knowledge, the eye caught as witness, the lines emerge from my hand. Thank you.
I think that resonates with a lot of us and where we are in academic departments. So really thank you for that, Eric. It's your first time at the conference, so wonderful contribution So from someone who it's their first time to someone who it's not their first time, who is performed many times their wonderful poetry. And so I'd now like to introduce Freek Saunders. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Freek Saunders. I'm from the Netherlands, and I will be reading 4 poems to you. My research interest is silence and synchronicity. And maybe this first poem resonates with the poem we just heard. Maybe that's also already a sign of synchronicity. Lost in the ocean of doubt. The conformist in me wants to comply with the mainstream, with the established, with the high status position. It is the doctrine of positivistic research, one truth that can be known, universal rules that govern the world, knowledge that is generalizable, as long as your sample is large enough and representative, and your research systematic and linear. The double-blinded randomized control trial, it's Valhalla, the golden standard. Results reported in a strict format. No room for humans, it almost seems. And the feedback always along methodological lines. Hardly ever is content discussed. The artist in me wants to explore, is drawn to autoethnography, action research, to the spiritual and unknowable, to meaning that is created. The rebel in me wants to be free of conventions that prevent spontaneity and serendipity. The poet in me wants to go slow, with no need for results, to linger and lose myself in seemingly unproductive sidesteps. Did I choose the wrong trajectory? Did I step in a meandering river that brought me to a ferocious ocean where I'm caught up in waves that are too large for me to handle? Now, at this moment in my life, I want to withdraw, rest, and find an inner calmness, a clarity about what it is that I really want to do, what I really want to study, and maybe more importantly, how. I think, should I go to Samos, that Greek island, to visit the cave where Pythagoras is thought to have lived? With this thought in mind, I take a moment to dive out of my boat into the World Wide Web and find an article dedicated to Pythagoras' silence. Michael Rose positions silence as rebellion and writes, "For it is in these silences that true education happens, not in the noise of answers, but in the stillness of inquiry. A stream of excitement enters. I feel I found a companion that makes my journey in this ocean of doubt more bearable, temporarily at least." And I propose to have one moment of silence now. That was one moment of silence, 1 minute. I go to my next poem, Sleeping Gods. In the train on my way to work, I share a thought I had on the bike this morning. I find it difficult to find a meaningful job in a meaningless life. "But that is Camus," she responds via the phone. You need to create the meaning yourself." I know, but how to do that? It's a heavy burden. Yeah, I know. I think of the boulder. I think of the rock that rolls. I wish for a bit more rock and roll in my life. The absurd is born out of this confrontation between the human need and the unreasonable silence of the world, writes Camus. At that moment, a ping. I hear a ping. A message arrives in my WhatsApp mailbox. It's my father, confined to the 6 square meters of his camper van. It's raining 24 hours in Sauerland, Germany, where he's camping. The message, a picture. A yellow interior and his partner drinking a cup of coffee, accompanied by a text that makes me smile. This is our Air Force One. Is it God that is waking up? Then I have one final poem. Breathing spaces. Giving myself permission creates a breathing space, room to maneuver, to play, to be as I am. Giving myself permission opens doorways allows being in between, a living pause to emerge. The Japanese call it ma. Giving myself permission builds relationships, unifies the selves in me with the you of this world. Giving myself permission carves out a space to grow. Serendipity starts to flow. I steep in silence. It is as if I am boiling rice in still water. Thank you.
So we have that 5 minutes scheduled just for any reflections and thoughts that have come to mind during that session. I don't necessarily think it's always great to have questions because into that interrogation mode. But it's lovely to hear what people are thinking or what the quietness did for you in this moment. So if anybody has any reflection that they would like to give, then please share it. Yes, Simone.
I'm Simone Kreher and I'm the supervisor of that young guy. And I would like to inform you that the poem was written in German originally. And in German, it sounds in a way that you have goosebumps reading it.
I've often thought that when Tepe and your colleagues, when Shihiro was here, she read some of her poems in Japanese and then gave a translation in English. And I loved hearing the mother tongue of the people that share their work. So maybe it's something that we can encourage each other to do. If you don't speak English, speak your own language first and make us do the work. Or you know, as you were saying yesterday, David, we learn something and take something in, even when we might not understand those exact words. So there's more going on there. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. I was really touched by the song, The Breathing Out Loud. And it just reminded me of a footnote that Husserl, in his reflections on breathing, he's talking against breathing and he's against loud breathing, which is strange as a kind of aversion to embodiment in a way. And he says here, silent breathing is valued as a means of avoiding an evil. Noisy breathing would result in harm. The transformation into quiet breathing is now counted positively in transference.
Thank you. 30 seconds. Anybody else just want to put their thoughts into words? Yeah, Freek.
Yeah, I love this song. I wish there were tissues in the room because I needed them. And I love the line, science is not the point.
That's maybe a good place to draw this session to a close. And we have 10 minutes now for a change around. So those of you that have to go to another room, please do so. And would the presenters in this room, please make yourself known to the chair so that they've met you in case they haven't. So thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Thank you.